Well, I'd been down to the dentist, and I went back to the dressing room, and I turned around. This young man has a gun in my back. I turn around. He has it in my face. He says, lay down. He says, if you don't, I'll kill you. And I says, keep quiet. So I lay down in the dressing room. He goes out to the rack, and he gets a necktie. He comes back, and he ties my hands. He says, you don't make any noise. If you do, I'll kill you. He goes back and gets another tie and comes back and ties my feet and then my feet and hands together. He goes out to the cash register and he can't open it, and he comes back and he says, how do you open the cash register? And I says, push the key to your left from A to Z and it'll open up, and turn the handle. Well, he comes out and he takes his time. He goes through the cash register and takes the money, and that's all that I know.
Well, did he take any money from your billfold?
Yes, he taken my billfold. I had about $70, and he took $71 out of the cash register.
You seem very calm now. Are you still at all shaken up over this?
Yes, I'll have to admit that I'm scared.
We have a bus system here serving the people. We know that it can be improved. And by working with the City Council, with the Traffic Commission, and with the City Bus Company, we think that we can give improved service to the people.
Basically, what were your, say, one or two top complaints on the thing?
Well, one of the chief complaints of bus riders is that buses move too slowly. And so we have gone into this problem by trying to find out how we can speed up the buses. This entails, in the downtown area, the rounding off of corners where buses have to weave in and out two lanes to make a right-hand turn. It entailed additional crosswalks. It entails some additional signal traffic lights.
What particular remedies do you have in mind?
Well, we have prepared a map showing an ideal route for all of the buses. This is a new routing that would be ideal if all of the physical features necessary for this type of routing were in existence. That is, our buses weave in and out trying to get from one point to another because there are certain physical barriers such as rivers, right-of-ways of railroads, throughways, golf courses, things of that nature. We have made a study of what an ideal bus routing would be, and if certain physical changes in the streets can be made by paving a few blocks of this one or by opening another one in another place, we can speed up the service and make our bus routes more direct to the point they're going.
We've been trying to point out that the office of Lieutenant Governor is just a heartbeat away from the office of the Chief Executive, and it's one that's not supposed to be taken as a joke, but rather seriously. I feel that to be Lieutenant Governor, you should have a knowledge of parliamentary procedure. Legislative experience would certainly be a great benefit. Knowledge of state government, of course, is an essential. I have served 8 years in the state legislature from Pittsburgh County. I feel that this experience has given me the necessary background legislative-wise. As far as state government is concerned, I majored in government in college, and I'm a government teacher now in the McAllister Public Schools. Well, nobody is taking it real seriously. They think of it only in terms of funny things and queen bees per day and so forth like that. And I think now that the people are beginning to wake up to the fact that it is important and it should be considered important.
I've had many years of experience in the retail business, in the cattle business, and in the finance business. The finance business carried me into all kinds of businesses. My opponent has never been in any business. My opponent has eaten at his mother's table, slept in his mother's bed. He doesn't have a family. He doesn't have a wife. He doesn't know the troubles of a man with a family. He's never lived in but one town. I've lived in many towns and been in many different kind of businesses. It is very important that you have a man to serve you as lieutenant governor who has qualifications. The lieutenant governor is only one heartbeat away from the governor. Had my opponent had experience, he probably would not have voted for the bill which permitted the selected investments to rob the people of Oklahoma out of $39 million.
The special message makes these points: that the troops in Lebanon will be augmented as required, and that U.S. forces in that country will be withdrawn as circumstances permit. The President says we share with Lebanon the view that the events in Iraq represent a ruthlessness of aggressive purpose that Lebanon cannot combat without evidence of support from friendly nations. The President says it is clear that the events which have been occurring within Lebanon constitute aggression against Lebanon from without. He realizes that sending in Marines may have serious consequences, but the risks involved are necessary to support the principles of justice and international law upon which peace depends.
The Middle Eastern crisis seems sure to start a serious wave of anti-imperialist sentiment among the newly freed nations of Asia and Africa. The neutralist nations will likely be the most bitter in their denunciation of the Marines in Lebanon, ignoring the fact that Lebanon asked for them. Soviet Russia, which is loud in support of nationalism in all countries except her satellites, is likely to profit considerably, and ironically enough, the United States, which has been supporting nationalism to the distress of her allies, will probably suffer the most. It's interesting to note that the nationalistic spirit of Yugoslavia and its dictator Tito is roundly condemned by Russia, as is nationalism in Hungary and Poland, where force was used to crush revolutions. The newly freed countries, however, do not take this into account, and to them, the imperialists are the Western democracies threatening to enslave the world. The communist purposes are obscured by propaganda.